After the 1898 Battle of Manila, Spain ceded Manila to the United States. The First Philippine Republic, based in nearby Bulacan, fought against the Americans for control of the city. The Americans defeated the First Philippine Republic and captured President Emilio Aguinaldo, who declared allegiance to the United States on April 1, 1901. Upon drafting a new charter for Manila in June 1901, the Americans made official what had long been tacit, that the city of Manila consisted not of Intramuros alone but also of the surrounding areas. The new charter proclaimed that Manila was composed of 11 municipal districts, presumably Binondo, Ermita, Intramuros, Malate, Paco, Pandacan, Sampaloc, San Miguel, Santa Ana, Santa Cruz, and Tonda. In addition, the Catholic Church recognized 5 parishes: Gagalangan, Trozo, Balik-Balik, Santa Mesa, and Singalong as part of Manila. Later, 2 more would be added, Balat and San Andres. Under American control, a new, civilian-oriented insular government headed by Governor-General William Howard Taft invited city planner Daniel Burnham to adapt Manila to modern needs. The Burnham Plan included the development of a road system, the use of waterways for transportation, and the beautification of Manila with waterfront improvements and construction of parks, parkways, and buildings. The planned buildings included a government center occupying all of Wallace Field, which extends from Rizal Park to the present Taft Avenue. The Philippine Capital was to rise at the Taft Avenue end of the field, facing toward the sea. Along with buildings for various government bureaus and departments, it would form a quadrangle with a lagoon in the center and a monument to Jose Rizal at the other end of the field. Of Burnham's proposed government center, only 3 units, the legislative building and the buildings of the finance and agricultural departments, were completed when World War II erupted. The destruction brought about by the Battle of Manila in 1945. During the Japanese occupation of the Philippines, American soldiers were ordered to withdraw from Manila, and all military installations were removed on December 24, 1941. General Douglas MacArthur declared Manila an open city to prevent further death and destruction, but Japanese warplanes continued to bomb it. Manila was occupied by Japanese forces on January 2, 1942. From February 3 to March 3, 1945, Manila was the site of the bloodiest battle in the Pacific theater of World War II. Some 100,000 civilians were killed in February. At the end of the battle, Manila was recaptured by joint American and Philippine troops. It was the second most devastated city in the world, after Warsaw, during the Second World War. Almost all of the structures in the city, particularly in Intramuros, were destroyed. In 1948, President Elpidio Quirino moved the seat of government of the Philippines to Quezon City, a new capital in the suburbs and fields northeast of Manila, created in 1939 during the administration of President Manuel L. Quezon. The move ended any implementation of the Burnham Plan's intent for the government center to be at Luneta. With the Visayan-born Arsenio Lacson as its first elected mayor in 1952, all mayors were appointed before this. Manila underwent the Golden Age, once again earning its status as the Pearl of the Orient, a moniker it earned before the Second World War. After Lacson's term in the 1950s, Manila was led by Antonio Villegas for most of the 1960s. Ramon Bagatsing, an Indian Filipino, was mayor for nearly the entire 1970s until the 1986 People Power Revolution. Mayors Lacson, Villegas, and Bagatsing are collectively known as the Big Three of Manila for their contribution to the development of the city and their lasting legacy in improving the quality of life and welfare of the people of Manila. During the administration of Ferdinand Marcos, the region of Metro Manila was created as an integrated unit with the enactment of Presidential Decree No. 824 on November 7, 1975. The area encompassed 4 cities and 13 adjoining towns, as a separate regional unit of government. On the 405th anniversary of the city's foundation on June 24, 1976, Manila was reinstated by Marcos as the capital of the Philippines for its historical significance as the seat of government since the Spanish period. Presidential Decree No. 940 states that Manila has always been to the Filipino people and in the eyes of the world, the premier city of the Philippines, being the center of trade, commerce, education, and culture. During the martial law era, Manila became a hotbed of resistance activity as youth and student demonstrators repeatedly clashed with the police and military, which were subservient to the Marcos regime. After decades of resistance, the non-violent People Power Revolution, predecessor to the peaceful revolutions that toppled the Iron Curtain in Europe, ousted the authoritarian Marcos from power. In 1992, Alfredo Lim was elected mayor, the first Chinese Filipino to hold the office. He was known for his anti-crime crusades. Lim was succeeded by Lito Atienza, who served as his vice mayor. Atienza was known for his campaign and city slogan, Buhayin ang Manila, Revive Manila, which saw the establishment of several parks and the repair and rehabilitation of the city's deteriorating facilities. He was the city's mayor for 3 terms, 9 years, before being termed out of office. The historic Fort Santiago in Intramuros. Manila welcomes over 1 million tourists each year. Major tourist destinations include the historic walled city of Intramuros, the cultural center of the Philippines complex, Manila Ocean Park, Binondo, Chinatown, Ermita, Maylate, Manila Zoo, the National Museum Complex, and Rizal Park. Both the historic walled city of Intramuros and Rizal Park were designated as flagship destinations and as a tourism enterprise zones in the Tourism Act of 2009. Rizal Park, also known as Luneta Park, is the national park and the largest urban park in Asia with an area of 58 hectares, 140 acres. The park was constructed as an honor and dedication to the country's national hero José Rizal, who was executed by the Spaniards on charges of subversion. The flagpole west of the Rizal Monument is the kilometer zero marker for distances to the rest of the country. The park was managed by the National Parks and Development Committee. The 0.67 square kilometers, 0.26 square miles, walled city of Intramuros is the historic center of Manila. It is administered by the Intramuros Administration, an attached agency of the Department of Tourism. It contains the famed Manila Cathedral and the 18th-century San Agustin Church, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Colisa is a popular mode of transportation for tourists in Intramuros and nearby places including Binondo, Ermita, and Rizal Park. Known as the oldest Chinatown in the world, Binondo was established on 1521 and it was already a hub of Chinese commerce even before the Spaniards colonized the Philippines. Its main attractions are Binondo Church, Filipino-Chinese Friendship Arch, Sengguan Buddhist Temple, and authentic Chinese restaurants. Manila is designated as the country's pioneer of medical tourism, expecting it to generate $1 billion in revenue annually. However, lack of progressive health system, inadequate infrastructure, and the unstable political environment are seen as hindrances for its growth.